Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Arabian Sports Talk here on 91.7 WEEM. But once again, alongside Aiden Wilson and Braden Folk, I'm your host, Dawson Perrell. For this week's episode, we will be looking at fantasy football side of the sports world once again. But before we get on to that, we have some sports news to cover. Before we start recording, we are recording this Monday, the 28th, so keep that in mind. If something happens during the week, which is pretty likely considering the preseason just finished up, don't be shocked if we don't discuss it here. And then getting started here, wasting no further time. Firstly, the 49ers quarterback and former third overall pick, Trey Lance, was traded away to the Dallas Cowboys for the fourth round pick, the 2024 fourth round pick, one of the Cowboys picks. And with this trade, many people are asking, is Trey Lance officially a bust? And was the 49ers moving up to trade Trey Lance in the 2021 draft? Was that one of the worst trades of all time?
I mean, personally, as an Eagles fan, we see the Cowboys all year. We hear about them all year. So I think with Dak Prescott being as inconsistent as he has been over the past few years, I think if he keeps it up and slowly decreases as, a high-level quarterback, I think Trey Lance can step in that spot and maybe show his impact. So I don't think he's a bust quite yet, but maybe in another 3 or 4 years, I think it would be safe to say that.
I think he sucks. He's gosh awful.
Yeah, and if anyone forgot, the 49ers gave the Miami Dolphins 3 first-round picks, a third-rounder to move up from the 12 to the 3. So they gave up a ton on Trey Lance. They were heavily invested in Lance, and obviously it didn't work out, I'd say. I think in the end, sure, he's got some potential, and injuries have really kept him off the field for the most part. But, I mean, he's had opportunities. This offseason was a huge opportunity, and then you got benched to the backup, Sam Darnold, and now you were the third string quarterback. So I think even with the given opportunities he has been given, he's still struggling to show his worth. And yes, I still think there is some hope with him on Dallas. And yes, I think Dak Prescott, as Aiden was mentioning, hasn't been the craziest consistent quarterback. And I think they did that to say, hey, if we just continue to not even make it in the playoffs some years or get eliminated earlier, then maybe we consider giving Trey Lance a shot at the helm, because I think, again, there is still some untapped potential, and it might have been just the scheme and coach he was under. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is a crazy good coach. I can't imagine it was his fault, but I think, some quarterbacks, it's just the scheme that they are in and the coaching, the coach that they are under doesn't work out for them personally. So maybe that's the case, and I'm hoping for it. I love Trey Lance, For several years, I was high on Trey Lance. Even when he was drafted in 2021, I was high on Trey Lance. I thought he could be a great player. But, I mean, you just look at the players that the 49ers passed up on and took Trey Lance. Micah Parsons was in that draft. Some quarterbacks were also in the draft, not necessarily good ones. I think Zach Wilson was there, which, again, that's a whole nother situation. But I mean, 49ers, that sucks for you to see that guy go, especially how much you gave for him. But I think it was a good trade. And then for a fourth round pick, I think people really undervalue how much picks are worth. Fourth round picks are pretty valuable. So I think, considering the contract that you let go, I think he was getting paid about $10 million a year. That's not necessarily horrible. Moving forward now, in other news, Tampa Bay Buccaneers starting center Ryan Jensen was placed on the IR the other day and is, quote, done for the year. Now, although the news is in the shadow of the Trey Lance trade and a lot of preseason games, it's not getting too much limelight. This is a huge loss already for an already struggling Tampa Bay offense. Jensen was a Pro Bowl center and was considered, or I guess still is considered, one of the best centers in the league before he got hurt. And again, offensive line, it's hard to keep track of who's who. And yeah, sadly enough, they're not going to be getting that much media coverage, but I hate to use this, I guess you could say, reference, but he was an 89 overall Madden. So I think that'll help a lot of people kind of understand how good he was. Again, I hate using that because there's so many other ways, and Madden's rankings are horrible half of the time, but he was a great player, and that sucks. I mean, of course, Baker Mayfield for quarterback, that's already a bit iffy. And then on top of that, you have aging Mike Evans, and then some struggling, maybe breakout candidate Rashad Shaheed. So I think that'll be a huge loss for Tampa Bay. And now with that, I can't imagine them finishing even in the top half of the NFC South.
Yeah, no, I think they're missing the playoffs completely this year.
Yeah.
As you were saying, I mean, they don't have much help as is. Tom Brady retired for sure. I mean, yeah, the receivers are getting old, and he's also quite at that age. I mean, he's 32, which isn't super old, but but it's also not like you're still young in your prime. So I think it is a bad injury for the Bucks, but I don't think that it affects them this much for this year at least.
I feel like it would affect them it'd affect them pretty bad. I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I was only saying that because, I mean, I'm sure we can all agree on this, that they're not going to make the playoffs.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, that gives everybody a year at least to practice, their plays and their chemistry and all that, getting back to maybe a competing team.
All right. But with that, we'll go ahead and move forward and look on the fantasy football side of things. Of course, we had a Weem League that drafted just under a week ago. And although we already did cover the draft a bit with our other podcast group, which you guys saw last Friday, us three, I already talked about it a bit, but then you two specifically, and then I'll talk about a bit of more my picks because we didn't cover all of them. And then, of course, we're going to talk about a bit of your decisions and thought processes on the picks that you had. So starting off with the 101, round one, first pick, that was you, Aiden Wilson. Of course, you went with, in my opinion, the no-brainer, Justin Jefferson. Now, I'll ask you the question, was there any other player you even thought to consider? Or was it as soon as you saw that you had that 101, you thought, Justin Jefferson's my guy, I can queue him up and leave the draft?
I mean, yeah, that's actually what I did, to be honest. Me and my dad had ran to like Walmart or something, and I was like, oh, the draft is in 10 minutes. Let me just hop on and queue Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Because there's no doubt that he's the first pick in the draft.
All right, but moving forward, Braden, you had the fifth pick in the draft, just following my pick. I went CMC, but again, we already talked about that with our last week's episode. And you went with Austin Eckler. Now, Austin Eckler was brought up in the last time that we had a sports talk 2 weeks back, and it was one of my players that said I was personally avoiding just because I think the age isn't there for Austin Eckler and the fact that there's a lot of other targets in Los Angeles. But I'd say for who was on the board at that fifth pick, I think it was a no-brainer for you. I mean, Travis Kelce, I think you might consider, and Cooper Kupp maybe, but I think it was the right pick to make. And if even though I was saying I'm trying to avoid him, if I had that fifth pick, I think I'm going Austin Eckler if he's there.
He's the greatest running back of all time. That's all I got to say.
Brandon, you definitely have quite the hot takes, I'll say. But moving forward to the second round, we'll try to keep on moving here so we can hit some of the later rounds, which again, we didn't cover in last week's episode. Among us three, Brayden, you had the nearest pick, I guess you could say, in the second round. You went with Nick Chubb. I love the pick. I love Nick Chubb. In fact, I was eyeing him, right? That was really the only time in the draft that I felt that I got snubbed away from my pick, and that was I really wanted Nick Chubb. If I had CMC Nick Chubb in the backfield together, I'd be so happy. But great pick there. I think Nick Chubb, he's probably the best running back in the league when it comes to talent-wise, in my opinion.
Second best running back of all time.
All right. But, and on top of that, I think the Browns front office have been quoted that they want to get him more in the pass game, which of course for PPR fantasy is just absolutely insane. I mean, if Nick Chubb is even half of a receiver that CMC and Austin Eckler is, he could be the best receiver or best running back, in the league, without a doubt. So great pick.
Thanks.
All right, moving forward. Devontae Adams, I went with Devontae Adams in round 2, and then Aiden Wilson. You went with CeeDee Lamb. Now, I'm going to say I haven't been drafting CeeDee Lamb much at all. I don't necessarily dislike him, and I think in an offense where he gets a lot of the targets, I'd say pretty much all of them, except for maybe, Michael Gallup and Brandon Cooks, who got moved there over the offseason. I think he is Prescott's favorite target. That's very clear, but I don't know why I really avoid him. I just do. I couldn't tell you why. I guess I just don't like him.
In that spot, I was kind of just trying to fill out my wide receivers, and I don't think he's very high on my list either. Like you were saying, he really wasn't very high on my list, but I think he was the best available. And as I was saying, trying to fill out my wide receiver spots, I just went with the best receiver available, really. There's nothing too much behind that pick.
Okay, well, we'll keep on going with Aiden. Patrick Mahomes, you kicked off the quarterbacks. There was back-to-back-to-back quarterbacks taken, and of course, I was just mentioning Aiden. You kicked it off with Patrick Mahomes at the top of the first round, the 301. I think Patrick Mahomes, yes, is the best quarterback, and if your league is drafting anyone over Patrick Mahomes in terms of quarterback, I don't know what league you're in, but you need to get out because Patrick Mahomes is the top dog, and he's just on a tier of his own, is what I said last week. But I was kind of surprised to see Patrick Mahomes this early. Maybe not. Maybe later third round, but I think I just wanted to start it off
as soon as I could. Because, I already had Justin Jefferson. I figured, might as well go out there and get the best quarterback. So
I think looking less on the number of the pick and looking more on the players available, the only players I would take over Patrick Mahomes that were still on the board would be Garrett Wilson, Amon Ross, St. Brown. I think those are the only two guys I'd take over him. But so I don't think it's a bad pick.
No.
Hate to say it, but the next two, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, I just don't know. Especially Jalen Hurts. Like Jalen Hurts at the top of the early first round. Brayden, you look astonished. You wanna
I am astonished.
Chip in here?
Did he not just take the Eagles to the Super Bowl?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, but this is
It's
fantasy
football, but he throws the ball and runs it like he's Lamar Jackson.
Okay, but this is an 8-team league. You can get Trevor Lawrence at the last round.
Why do you want Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, I mean,
quarterbacks, it's like maybe a 20-point difference throughout the entire season. I think you can get a better value out of this.
No.
Like Garrett Wilson. Like you see Garrett Wilson and Jalen Hurts.
Who's throwing to him? Aaron Rodgers?
Garrett Wilson was, I think he averaged like 16 points a week last year, maybe
That's
like 15.
awful.
And he had Zach Wilson throwing him the football.
That's awful.
All right, we'll keep on moving. We got to get through a lot of rounds here. We're going to go ahead and just skip down. I know we covered a lot of these. We're going to go ahead and skip down. Let's just say round 10. I think that's where we stopped last one. So I guess you could say for this episode, we're going to be covering more of the later rounds. Starting off with round 10. I love my pick. I think we already talked about it a bit on last episode, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
I think Dalvin Cook is iffy. I think it's a very, very questionable. I think I'd say out of all the players, not only running backs, I say every single player on the big board, I think Dalvin Cook has the biggest difference when it comes to his ceiling and his floor. I think Dalvin Cook could be a Pro Bowl running back and take over that running back room and make Bryce Hall not irrelevant, but very, very minimal. But I think at the same time, Dalvin Cook could just be kind of a veteran piece there that's just training, which I hate to say it because Dalvin Cook has so much potential still, even though he's coming to that age of running backs where they're getting to that veteran role and not that good. But I think I'd be willing to take the chance on him. And I feel comfortable with my other running backs that I think going with a boomer bust pick and Dalvin Cook, it was a smart move. Brayden, you went with the rookie wide receiver Jordan Addison out of Minnesota. Of course, Addison paired up with Justin Jefferson. That's questionable. I think any receiver in Justin Jefferson's
fastest guy in the league. What was it? 140 miles an hour?
What? 140 miles an hour?
Yeah. Taking his dog.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Yep. 140 miles an hour.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I don't think it's a bad pick. Rookie wide receivers, I think last year proved their worth. I think just like, with Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, I think those two really helped the rookie wide receivers this year get higher up on the boards. And then I want to focus, Aiden, you kind of snubbed me here. I'm not going to lie. You went with Trevor Lawrence, and he was my guy. And that was probably the most disappointing pick I saw. I saw that little thing pop up, and I'm like, there goes my quarterback. Now I'm stuck with Dak Prescott, and I already tried to trade it with you. I don't know if you saw it. You probably declined it.
That was
because I need a quarterback that's not. His name's not Dak Prescott.
You want Tua?
No.
What's wrong with Tua?
Injuries, man. I'm not taking that risk. I'd rather have Geno, which I'm probably going to pick up.
Yeah.
I already picked up Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
That's actually good. I'm surprised he wasn't drafted, speaking of.
8-team league. Yeah, maybe. All right, but anyways, I'm kind of disappointed that you took Trevor Lawrence there, especially that you already took Patrick Mahomes
my
in the third
quarterbacks are
round.
stacked.
I guess, but I don't know what is Trevor Lawrence going to do? He's in that.
He's my bye week guy. There we go.
It's your bye week guy for 1 week?
Yeah.
1 week.
He declined my fairly okay trade for a bye week. I'm disappointed, honestly. All right, but anyways, at the top of the 11th round, Aiden, you went with J.K. Dobbins out of Baltimore.
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins, so far, his career has been filled with injuries. Definitely a bumpy road for him, but I consider him a breakout candidate this year. I think that entire Ravens offense can go from, I guess you could say, without Lamar, like a B-, a C+ to an A+. I mean, if Lamar stays healthy, this can be a top team, a top offense in general in the league. I mean, I think a lot of people sleep on Lamar's arm. He can sling it. And then with OBJ and Mark Andrews, of course, and then even with some of the younger guys, I love Zay Flowers, their rookie. He's one of my favorite rookie wide receivers heading into the year. I don't know if that's just because I did a rebuild with him on Madden, but I really like Zay Flowers. Anyways, so that's a great pick. What was your thought process on that one?
I think earlier in the rounds, round 6, I drafted Alvin Kamara, and I know that he's like suspended for
3 games.
3 games. So I knew I needed more running backs in that position, and I think his name just like stuck out to me. So I was like, okay, we'll pick him up, and I did pick up AJ Dillon in the next round right after that too.
I wanted him so bad. I'm really mad at you.
Dobbins?
No,
Dylan?
Alvin Kamara.
Oh,
you know what?
Dobbins, who's that
Pick
guy?
up a trade, and maybe I'll accept it.
I tried to trade with him for Kamara. You already declined.
What'd you give?
All right. Oh man,
Yeah,
what was it? I think it was
I could
I'll tell you. Alvin Kamara and Trevor Lawrence I get.
Yep.
I give Dak, Dalvin Cook, and Swift.
That's awful.
Mm.
Come on, man.
That's awful.
Come on.
I'll give him Nick Chubb for him.
What?
I'll give you Nick Chubb.
All right, send the trade right now.
Don't.
Go ahead.
I want him.
Go ahead.
I'm working on
Our league is already destroyed. Moving forward.
Okay, give me a minute after this podcast.
Okay.
You went with Jerick McKinnon.
Just a stud.
He's 30.
He's a stud. You see him last season running up the fantasy rankings like crazy.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, with Isaiah Pacheco there, I love Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco, what? Who's he? Nobody.
You say that
That's
all
what
the
I
time.
thought.
You say that all the time, bro. He went before him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
he went
like
in
him
the
very
top
much
of the
because
10th round.
because
But guess
of the
what?
Super Bowl.
McKinnon sees like 25% of the snaps. He saw like maybe 30% last year, right? Let's just go with that. He definitely saw a little bit more than that, but that's what I'm going to use.
Yeah, but it's going to be on a down.
But guess
climb.
what? It may be on a down. What's a downcline? It's a decline.
All right, bro.
All right.
I'm sorry.
But still, he scores so many touchdowns in the red zone, so much. He can catch the ball way better than Pacheco. So when you see him on the field, you know it's going to be a screen pass, and he's picking up at least 15 yards.
All right. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, pick.
Okay.
With my pick, I went with my tight end, Pat Freiermuth, right? So
Freiermuth. Big guy.
Freiermuth. Yeah. Thank you. Just get my tight end out of the way. Nothing to really talk about on that pick. You know, I needed a tight end. He was the best on the board. Picked him up. Moving forward with round 14, Braden, you went with Sky Moore. I love that pickup.
I already dropped him.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I needed Adam Thielen.
Okay, fair.
You added Adam Thielen?
Yeah.
Over. Yikes.
I think the Panthers are going to be good this year.
Bryce
Well, yeah,
Young,
they
Adam
can be
Thielen's
okay,
crazy.
but like Adam Thielen's insanely old.
Who's the number 1 receiver in Carolina? I'm not going to lie, I don't know.
Well, yeah, but
It's
Kansas
probably
City
will
has
be
like
Adam Thielen.
3 wide receiver number 1s. Like all 3 guys could be the wide receiver number 1.
Got a rookie quarterback. He's going to be throwing to all of them. He's going to be trying to build that connection.
Okay, I can maybe get behind that, but I don't know. I went with Dak because I panicked and then saw that, you know, earlier Trevor Lawrence went and there I was like, okay, I need to take my quarterback before anyone else takes a backup. But now I'm trying to get rid of him, so I probably could have waited on that pick anyway.
Yeah.
Anyways, round 15 and 16 were the last 2 rounds. We saw a lot of kickers, and oh yeah, Braden, I got Tyler Bass.
Can I have him?
Give me Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb! It's a kicker.
Hey, you were saying last episode that you would take him what? Like
I would have taken him in the 4th
you
round.
Take him first overall. That's what you said.
I took him in the last round.
Fourth round.
All right, round 15 anyways. Before we get on to the kickers, I just wanted to mention that
Hey, you want
first.
Keenan Allen for Tyler
Round
Bass?
15. No. There's so many better receivers on the
Who's better than
waiver
Keenan
wire.
Allen?
I haven't
Nobody.
looked at the waiver wire, but there's definitely better ones. With my defense, I went with the Saints defense, which I am so proud of.
Why?
I love the Saints because they're in the NFC South and they see the Falcons twice, the Panthers twice, and the Bucks twice.
That's true.
Ooh,
I didn't
that's
look at
actually
the
really
schedule.
smart.
And they face the AFC South
Ooh.
once each. So outside of like, I'd say maybe Tennessee, which I still think their defense is going to be fine against Tennessee's god awful offensive line. And then outside of like the Jacksonville Jaguars, they have the easiest strength of schedule in the league. And that's what I look for in defense. And on top of that, they've been the top 10 defense, I think, ever since Dennis Allen didn't take over as the head coach, but took over as the defensive coordinator, which I have no clue has been so long. It's been a long time. They've been a top 10 defense consistently. Yes, Cameron Jordan, it could be like a grandpa. And yeah, Demario Davis is a good 38 years old.
He couldn't be. He is. There's no way he's
like
not.
Okay, well, that in football terms, he is.
Oh, okay.
Because Cameron Jordan, I think, is 34. Demario Davis is a good like 35. It's old. And Matthews probably 32 or so. We got an old defense. You got Lattimore, sure, he's young. And some of the rookies with the dude out of Clemson. Brian Breese or something.
I don't know.
Breese. I don't know. Maybe it's
Brian Brees.
Brees.
He played D-tackle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
D-tackle. He's kind of like a small D-tackle. But anyways, I think strength of schedule, you got a very, very powerful veteran defense. I take them over the Jets. Jets got to see the Oh, Jackson. Did Jackson even draft? Jackson was on auto draft.
Yeah,
I think he auto drafted the whole
Well,
draft.
he took the Jets, which I guess okay. But who did you win? Who did you go with?
Defense? I don't know. I auto drafted the Browns.
Okay. Aiden, you went with? Did you?
Steelers. Yeah.
Is that an auto drafter?
No, I think I actually.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Steelers. I mean, you got a tough division.
Yeah,
with the Bengals.
That's
and
a
Ravens.
good thing.
But I mean,
you did.
You can't look at that too much. I think like a good defense, like the Steelers are just such a good defense that it's not going to matter that much. They're probably going to put around the same, and like in total at the end of the year, they're probably going to have the same like levels. The Saints, in my opinion, they couldn't. By the way, I want to go back up here. We already talked about this with the other podcast group, but I think it was around. Let me try to find it. It was Michael Hooker.
It was
round 11.
10th and 11, yeah.
Round 11 and round 10. 2 kickers. Zion went with the kicker too. Round 10, Michael went with Justin Tucker, which is kind of insane.
He went to round 10?
Yeah.
I would have taken him around 3.
I don't know what is your hype with kickers, dude.
Dude, they win and they make or break games.
Yes, but there's like they're all like
no, because
you've
you've definitely been on that Sunday night football game, and you need to win a game. All right, you need that game.
Okay, but
all right, and that kicker, he kicks a 62-yard field goal for the win.
Let's just see.
And guess how many points that is? Like 5 points. I don't even know.
Let me look.
And not winning the game by 0.8.
So like my point is Justin Tucker versus I don't know. Let me just look at the last round. Tyler Bass or the last pick in the draft. Aiden, you went with Jake Elliott. Justin Tucker isn't putting up like 50 points more than Jake Elliott. Like they're getting really the same amount of chances, if not less. I mean, you got to think about it. I think the Ravens, like in the red zone, are kind of clutch. Yes, Justin Tucker can knock down pretty long field goals. So I think they're going to try field goals more. But I mean, I don't know. And hey, we don't know. I mean, Adam Vinatieri used to go in the 10th round, and then what was that year? 2021 or so. When was that?
Shanked every field goal?
Where he literally just
like
forgot how to kick.
He didn't know how to kick at all.
Like that could happen with anyone. Like that's just kickers. The Dallas kicker in the playoffs just literally forgot how to kick. So I think,
Hey, you know who doesn't forget to kick? Tyler Bass.
I have him.
Good.
All right, but now looking at our fantasy teams themselves, of course, we already talked about a bit about the picks themselves, but more just the teams collectively. I'll start it off at my quarterback. I already discussed is Dak Prescott. Not too happy about it. He's going to be out of there by the season start. I just don't know who is going to replace him. Looking on the waiver wire, I think Geno's there. Yeah. Geno is probably the guy. I mean, I think I'm iffy about Geno just because, he was like one of the best quarterbacks fantasy-wise last year, but, it's Geno Smith, and he's had a rough career otherwise. So I think, there's still some risk factor that he just comes back and looks like his old self, and that's not good at all. I got CMC. That's my first pick. Aaron Jones is my other running back. I might bench Aaron Jones pretty quickly through the season. I got Kenneth Walker, Madison, and Dalvin Cook, and Swift on my bench. I don't think Swift will ever get that starting role. I'd be shocked. But if Kenneth Walker pops off week 1 and, or Aaron Jones is like a 10-point game, I'm going to start Kenneth Walker. My wide receivers are Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. Couldn't be happier about that. Garrett Wilson is about to be wide receiver number 2 in the league. I'm calling it now. It's going to be Justin Jefferson, then Garrett Wilson. That's going to be the receiver rankings. Because we talked about it. We talked about this last week. When Aaron Rodgers finds his receiver, and when he like has his favorite receiver, which is without a doubt Garrett Wilson, he is just going to feed Garrett Wilson 90% of the pass plays.
Let me know when one of your receivers goes 140 miles an hour.
All right. Devontae Adams on top of that. Yeah, sure. You got Jimmy Garoppolo. My gosh, sorry. I was watching the Saints last night. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's projected 19, or not Jimmy Garoppolo. Devontae Adams projected 19.1 points the first week, and he's probably going to get that because he's the best route runner in the league. My flex is Chris Olave, so I got like the 2 breakout candidates, and I think my prediction is that Michael Thomas is going to somehow, one way or another, is going to be hurt for the season. He's probably going to like stub his toe and then just steal another $50 million from the Saints like he's been doing. Still love Michael Thomas, though. It's a love-hate relationship, you know? And then Chris Olave is going to pop off. So I couldn't be happy about my team, and pretty much I already got the title locked up.
Take that back.
You can give me the trophy.
Do we have a trophy?
No, we need to discuss
Do
a
we have a
punishment.
loser?
We
Yeah,
need to
okay.
discuss a punishment. That's like the game plan.
We need
It's
a
like,
Weem
we're not-
trophy with a little plaque on it, along with
They
the
have
punishment.
they have a couple out there, like 3 or 4.
Just
Plain
general
trophy?
Weem.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Never seen those in my life.
Neither have I.
For my team, I think my only regret is Kyle Pitts. Maybe
Oh yeah, I agree.
Fuck.
Kyle Pitts, or maybe
I've drafted Kyle Pitts too many times.
maybe Juju. Just
like
because
Juju.
like him now in New England, I don't think there's going to be.
I think like who else?
Who
They
just
don't
went
even
there?
throw the ball that
Ezekiel
much.
E-
Elliott. He won't start though.
Well, Zeke's going to be like a third down back, so
Yeah.
that won't really affect him at all. I mean, yeah, they won't throw as much, I don't think, but I think Mac Jones still has some potential.
Yeah, him and Kyle Pitts. Just because
Okay.
I know Kyle Pitts is like not so efficient.
He's just like, I've drafted him so many times, and like every year, his ceiling is so high, but every year he disappoints. It seems like, at least so far.
There'd
But
be
then
like
again,
one game where he does decent,
Yeah.
and then you pick him up off the waiver wire if he hasn't been drafted, and then it's like 2 points a game.
yeah,
It's
that
god awful.
that's so facts. But then again, you look at like Travis Kelce, he wasn't insane till
Yeah.
like later in his career.
That's true.
And although I mean they're similar players, Kyle Pitts is almost more of like a receiver. Travis Kelce can't really block though, so
Yeah.
they're similar players. So I could see like a Travis Kelce type career for Kyle Pitts, where he just kind of later in his career, say Ritter, like becomes the new Mahomes, which is
if so,
which is
no.
this guy.
How would he become the next Mahomes?
Okay, not Mahomes, but he's the next like feed your
Big
tight end.
quarterback.
No,
okay.
just feed your tight end on every play. That's what I mean. And then Kyle Pitts could be really good. I could see that. I could see Ritter just being the type of guy that literally goes to Kyle Pitts every other play.
I think Dallas Goddard could be like that.
Goddard could be good. Yeah,
If the offense wasn't so like,
I
you
guess
know,
who got
AJ
Goddard?
Brown stuffed.
nice job.
That's me.
Yeah.
Tell us what your other team looking like.
You know what? Live trade right here. I'll trade you Alvin Kamara
Whoa.
and Juju for Dallas Goddard himself.
Alvin Kamara and Juju,
Yes.
you got a deal.
Wait, pause.
Oh,
Juju, scratch off.
what?
I'll give you Kyle Pitts.
Did we not just talk about that?
We did, but
2
don't you
point
want a tight
games.
end back?
Wait, no. What?
I'll just pick one up off
Just
the waiver
giving
wire.
Juju basically for free.
I'll just pick up off the waiver wire. We're good. I don't need a
Who?
tight end
Alvin Kamara.
and Juju, and you got yourself a deal.
Really?
Wait, whoa. I'll
Send the
shake
trade.
I'll wait before you shake. No, stop. Too late.
We
I was
can do a
gonna,
three-way
I was gonna
trade.
offer a better deal. I was gonna give you
What?
Devontae Adams and CMC.
No, you won't.
No, that's stupid.
You won't.
No, I wasn't. I'll give you like a Swift and Cook and London and Dak
Jesus
For
Christ.
Alvin
The whole team?
Kamara.
for Alvin Kamara and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, no, I need my bye week.
Think about
Sorry.
it. What? You don't need your 1 week and you can go get a quarterback. It's an 8-team league. There's probably going to be a quarterback that's going to be
Hey,
like,
Aaron Rodgers is on the
if you're-
waivers.
yeah, exactly. Honestly, no. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait because
Yeah.
at least one of those quarterbacks on the waiver wire is about to have a crazy good season. And I'm just going to wait and I'm going to pick them up. So yeah, no, never mind. Too late.
No?
Off the offer.
Okay.
I know you're about to accept it, but it's too late.
About to accept that.
You
Well,
saw
I
his
got
face.
Dallas
He was about to
Goddard,
accept
so
that.
I'm all right.
Yeah, he's got Dallas Goddard now.
Yeah.
Hey, send the trade real quick. I'll accept it.
Okay. Let's hear about your team.
Yeah.
On my team. So I drafted Tua, but he ain't gonna start ever. It's Anthony Richardson, big guys.
Oof.
Going
I
to the
like
end
one.
zone. Week 1.
Nah, that's not what
I
I'm
like
doing.
that
That's a
take.
horrible move, honestly.
Guess what?
Keep Tua.
Are you the GM of Riley Reid option?
Whoa,
No.
whoa.
I got Austin Eckler, my first pick in the draft because he's the greatest running back in fantasy history.
I had him last year. Like that's how much I'm being unbiased here. I don't like Austin Eckler.
You don't like him?
I don't like him this year, but I had him last year, and I was literally an Austin Eckler. I went to the Colts game when they were playing the Chargers.
Yeah.
That primetime game. It was the semifinals for my final league, and I lost by a point.
Because Austin Eckler?
And I was about to storm on the field and go straight up to Brandon Staley, isn't that Chargers coach? Be like,
Yeah.
give the ball to Austin Eckler. I was
Did
about
you?
to do it. I was this close because I was like, ooh, I was a point away.
Run on the field, tackle him. Put in my boy Eckler.
It was the semifinals. I would have so won. I would have won because the championship, the winner of the league had like 98 points the championship round.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was the worst championship game of all time.
I got Nick Chubb, also a stud.
Stud.
No.
I agree.
Debo Samuel. Debo
Debo, yeah.
Debo
Interesting.
Samuel.
Debo.
Greatest.
What do you want for
Debo.
Nick Chubb? Just Alvin Kamara.
Just a bunch of no. I already got it for Dallas Goedert. Get out of here.
What to say?
Okay.
Calvin Ridley. Seen a bunch of preseason videos. He's looking like a unit.
That's
After
facts.
that gambling
That's facts.
accident, he's been crazy on the field. Just wait. Dallas Goedert, obviously, getting ready to be gone. Guy
Yeah.
sucks anyways.
What?
Got Ramondre. I don't even know. Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
He's a flex, but I like him.
He's not going to get many red zone carries though.
Hey, he
Zeke's
projected
there.
14 points right now.
Yeah, but Zeke's there.
Yeah,
and
but
the projections
like
are horrible.
Like you said, third down back. That's it.
There you
No,
go, bro.
Zeke is the third down back.
Yeah, like you said, he's the
Okay.
third down back. That's one down out of 4?
Well, yeah, but then it will also red zone carries. Like
Yeah, but Ramondre Stevenson is not going to get into the red zone. He's going to get to the end zone.
okay, I like the mentality.
Yeah.
Then I just dropped the Browns defense while we're in the middle of the podcast. That's the Ravens defense.
That's honestly much better.
Oh, accept that trade.
Oh, I will. Don't worry.
Okay.
And then kicker, auto drafted. I had to go do something. So auto drafted Jason Myers. We can go through the bench, I guess. I mean, I got a bunch of 4 wide receivers and 2 running backs, but best one on the bench is Keenan Allen, which is a freaking unit. And then
Old.
guess what?
What?
He still do better than you. And then
Nah, I could lock up Keenan Allen.
okay. And then got the best bench running back full time, Jarrett McKinnon.
Solid. I love my bench.
Yeah, I think McKinnon will be good this year.
Yeah, that's what
McKinnon
I
could
thought.
be. Sorry.
And
I'm
I don't
sorry.
like the
Okay.
Chiefs.
Better
And I'm
be.
saying that.
All right. Anyways, although that bench was okay, my bench is the best in the league, and it's just not even close. D Hop
Ew.
gonna have a breakout year.
How?
Not
I
breakout.
kind of like that pick.
Wearing those old Oilers uniforms? No.
Dude, those Oilers uniforms are.
They look
fresh.
like poop. Poop. Just poop.
All right. Anyways, D Hop, he's the only receiver in Tennessee. I mean, I don't know. What's that one dude's name?
I know
don't
what you're
know.
talking about, but I don't know his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. So he's going to be like getting a ton of targets, even though they don't run the ball at all. Or they don't pass the ball at all. Excuse me. Whenever like 10 times a game they're going to pass is going to D Hop. Kenneth Walker Jr., the third. I thought it was Junior.
Nope, he's the third.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker the third. I'm so sorry.
I wonder what Junior looks like.
2.
It's just JR, actually.
No, but like, I'm not saying the abbreviation. What his dad looks like. Gosh.
I don't know. But anyways, last year, Kenneth Walker, stud.
Yeah.
Stud. I had him last year on pretty much all my fantasy leagues. I don't know how I didn't win my family league last year. I had Justin Jefferson, Josh Allen.
You're not meant to be a GM.
Yeah, we'll see after this season.
Well,
I'm gonna get that clip right there, and
That's
I'm
gonna be in your little montage?
replay. It's just gonna be going on replay. You're
gonna make a little
That's why you're
fantasy
not
montage?
GM. That's why you're not GM. That's why you're not GM. And then I'm gonna be standing here with trophy in hand. It's gonna
He's gonna have
happen.
it on repeat.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Okay.
All right, and then I got Alexander Madison. I mean, who else, right? He's going to be getting all the carries in
Yeah.
Minnesota. And then Scary Terry on the bench is crazy.
Okay, yeah. His
Indiana
bench.
native dog, Hoosier. Well, not college-wise, but
Yeah.
Where'd he go? Ohio State, right?
probably. Yeah, probably. Midwest wide receiver. I mean, where else are you going, right? Dalvin Cook, we already talked about him. Drake London, he's going to have a breakout year because who else is in the Atlanta receiver room except for Kyle Pitts? And then Swifty. Swift, I feel
I'm
like
a Swiftie.
I hate Taylor Swift.
I'm talking about DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I'm a
It's
Swiftie
a
on
sports podcast, not Taylor Swift podcast.
that. Okay, well, I am a Swiftie in that terms, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
well, who's got him this year? The Eagles do.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the Eagles could use him. Who else is in there with him? Kenneth Gainwell?
We might get Jonathan Taylor. There's talks.
Ooh, yeah.
I saw a thing that said their trade was declined.
Really?
Yeah,
Where?
on ESPN.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, Jonathan. Anyways, yeah, for the last segment here, we're done. We're going to talk a bit about Jonathan Taylor because, we got a Colts fan in this seat
Hey,
over
that's
here.
me.
Ugh, yikes. I feel bad for you, honestly.
You feel bad for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of my podcast room.
All right. Anyways,
Press
Jonathan
out of
Taylor.
sympathy.
Where do we think he's going? I mean, where do we think he'd fit in the best? Because he's leaving, right? Who wants to
No,
be in
he's staying.
Indianapolis?
He's staying.
Who wants to be in Indianapolis?
He's staying.
I think
Give me one reason he should say.
Well, he shouldn't, but he's got till tomorrow, and
He does.
that's the deadline. And
For what?
till he's allowed to look for teams.
so. After tomorrow,
Is it like the trade
not
nobody
allowed?
signs him, he stays.
Basically, yeah.
So I think he's going to do.
released. It's
Yeah, I know, but like if they don't even like the offers, they don't even
Yeah.
Think about it.
Okay.
Like I saw something about the Eagles. They,
Well, then
I
what
don't
if he
even know
just
they
holds
offered it.
out?
It's a decline.
Yeah, I think he'll pull a Ben Simmons.
He gets fined. Ben Simmons. He get fined.
Anyways,
Adam Silver is really strict about that.
You mentioned
That's not Adam
All
Silver.
right.
That's the NBA.
Yeah, where is this guy talking about?
I heard Ben Simmons.
Eagles, right? I don't know. I feel like that'd be horrifying. First off, I would literally just, oh man, the NFC would just automatically become the better conference just because of the Eagles. Because if the Eagles had Jonathan Taylor, it'd be over. Their offense would be absolutely insane.
I might move back at that point.
Yeah, exactly. I would. I would move there. I just become an Eagles fan.
Really?
No.
Good.
For like 5
I have these I have a lot of accusations that I'm a bandwagon just because I liked the Colts for a while. I would even go so far to say they're my favorite team for a majority of my life. But then I switched to the Saints.
Why?
Yeah, jinx.
I mean, I've always liked the Saints because Drew Brees, right? And
Hold on.
My dad.
You've always liked him, but you've been a lifelong Colts fan?
No.
How's that
I'll
work?
take this back. I had when I was first getting into football, like fourth grade, I would say I switched a lot. My elementary years, I wasn't a Colts fan. I was, a Packers fan starting off. I hate the Packers now because my good friend who got me into the NFL, he was a Packers fan. So it kind of just naturally happened.
Yeah.
I then really liked Khalil Mack, Bears fan.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack went to the
Raiders.
And I really liked Marshawn Lynch, and that was when Marshawn Lynch was like a Raider when he came out of retirement. Yeah. So I became a Raiders fan. I think from a short period of time, I was a Chargers fan and then a Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
And this is how I was for the NBA for a long time. And then I eventually settled for the Colts up until I'd say 2018, 2017. So probably sixth grade. So I probably was my Colts were my number one for a year or so. And then Saints took over.
So you were just hopping around the NFL?
For my elementary years, yes, I was hopping around the NFL. And that's how I was for NBA. I tried so hard to find a favorite NBA team and I couldn't. And then Jaden Ivey got drafted to the Pistons. And I regret it entirely because the Pistons are horrible. All right. But I think that'll do it for time here. We hope you all enjoyed once again. For Aiden Wilson, for Braden Falk, I'm Dawson Parrell. Again, as you can already see for these past 2 weeks, we're going for a back and forth weeks for 2 separate groups. So you can expect our group, and Jackson Todd will be joining us. He was gone today, so unfortunately he wasn't here for this episode, but he'll be back in 2 weeks. And then for next week, you can expect Ryan, Zion, and myself for our next episode. But we hope you all enjoyed. You're listening to the Arabian Sports Talk 91.7 WEEM.